Hi guys, a very good morning all of you. Hope all of you can hear me. Anyone guys, can you please confirm is I'm audible? Anyone guys?
Yes, audible.
Right, right. So guys, like in the last session, so we taken 3 demo classes guys in the last week. So if you guys has missed the previous classes, don't worry, it is only just an demo sessions only, just introduction, like what are the content of the course, like what we are going to provide, how the recorded videos will be given, like what is the schedule of the class. So just it is overall about the course content and the course duration and our plan of action. So these are only the things which I discussed in the last session. I didn't started with any practical implementation, but just a few, that means just a technically speaking, just few points I discussed in the last session. Like we'll discuss about machine learning, we'll discuss about deep learning, we will learn something about the basics of Python in our classes. So just the part completely, it is only the part of introductions only, only the part of the introduction we covered those but basic things. But I didn't started with any main concepts. If anyone has missed the last classes also, nothing to worry, because technically I didn't started any sessions there guys. Okay, so anyhow, today I'm going to start with some basic introduction, that means technical classes, that means technical aspects of our course content. So we are not directly starting with anything, but basically, as I said, that we are going to mainly works on a concept called as an machine learning. So it does not means that we are going to learn only machine learning only, but one of the important concept in the data science is machine learning. But as I said that, what is really a data science? So different people gives a different definitions. But as I said, the data science is nothing but a multiple techniques, multiple skills. We are having a different methodologies, algorithms, systems. We are going to use all these things. So basically, what is our target about the data science we discussed? So data science is all about basically what we can say is to understand the data. So simple to say that understand the past and predict the future. That is what the data science main target is. We have to just understand the past, and based on that, whatever you understood in the past, whatever the data we understood there, so based on that we have to predict the data. That means our target is nothing but just to make you understand that. So understand the past customers data, for example the past loan customers. So who has taken the loans from the bank, understand the past customers loans, the whatever their particular data. And based on that, so if you understand this data, you will come to know like which customers are paying the EMIs promptly, which customers are not paying the EMIs promptly. So how many customers are paying, how many customers are not paying, we can identify that. But what are their characteristics, their ages, their genders, their loan amounts, whatever that is related, we can identify that. So based on the past loan customer data, whatever the loan customers data we have taken, so we want to do some kind of a prediction of loan approval. So to whom the loan should be approved, to whom the loan should not be approved, that is what we have to do as part of the prediction. That is what the data science is basically meant for. In that we'll use a different techniques. In that sometimes we'll use machine learning, sometimes we'll use, depending on the problem statement, we use deep learning, we use sometimes NLPs, we uses it big data systems, will take the help of the data visualization. We are going to use some kind of a data analysis, data manipulations. So all these are the different types of techniques and methodologies what we have to use. Among that, one of the important technique or important functionality is machine learning, guys. Okay, so whatever it may be, anyhow, first 15 days, it is generic concept only. We are not going to start with any concept, but whether you want to learn machine learning, whether you want to learn deep learning, whether you want to learn AI, or whether you want to learn NLP, or whether you want to learn generative AI, okay, or whether you want to learn about prompt engineering, whatever you want to learn, guys, whatever, these are all the topics of the data science. These are all the core concepts of data science, guys. Machine learning, deep learning, AI, NLP, okay, generative AI, prompt engineering, all these are part of our data science. But to learn all these things, guys, first important is we have to learn some language for this. Some language, we have to learn some language for this. So what is that language? So language means immediately because see, as I said that data science is not a computer science engineering subject. It may be a part of the computer science field, but it is not the subject of computer science. There are many people who works in the data science. Many people. It's not only a computer science engineer or only a computers experts are going to works. So simple to say that if you see data science is a combination of three different core areas, guys. One is nothing but maths and stats. The mathematics and the statistics. Maths and the stats is required. Plus a kind of a domain knowledge is also required. And plus a little bit knowledge about the computer skills. So here computer skills does not plays any important role, guys. Computer skill does not plays an important role. For example, just to make you understand that, I said that there is some kind of a methodologies. There are some different types of methodologies will be there, guys. Don't worry, don't worry about that. Just it is a methodologies. Okay, I'll tell you one simple technique. Just means it is only a part of introduction. For example, let us say that in our school days, maybe in our school days only we have learned how to find the distance between two data points. Whenever I'm talking about the distance between two data points, how do you calculate it? Two data points. Now let us say that there is a data point A, there is a data point B here, and there is a data point C. For example, just observe carefully, guys. There is a data point A, there is a data point B, there is a data point C. Now, can anybody tell me, guys, who is the nearest to A? Is A is nearest to B or A is nearest to C, guys? Anybody can tell me this point? Is the data point A is closer to which data point? Is it closer to A or closer to B? Anyone, guys? Yes, try to respond, guys. It's not a video class, right? It's an interactive session. So A is closer to B or A is closer to C?
It's closer to B.
A is closer to B. Okay. It appears like that. But mainly because in our school days, we never know about that. Simply, they'll give you the formula. What is the distance between the two data points A and B is nothing but. They says that anybody remember the formula for distance calculation between two data points? Anyone, guys?
Root of x2 minus x1 whole square.
Okay, or x1 minus x2.
y1
Okay,
whole square.
x1 minus x2. Okay, anyhow, we are squaring, right? So it does not matter. X1 minus x2 or y1 minus y2 or y2 minus y1. Anyhow, we are squaring and whole to the power of square root it is. Okay. But generally, this concept will be never taught in our school days. But practically, when it comes to real time, it does not, we can't say that A is closer to B. I'll tell you. For example, let us say that A is having a different scale. That means x-axis is having a different scale. Y-axis is having a different scale. Just an example to make you understand that. So let us say that the data is, let us say that a data point, for example, I'm saying a data point is some a value between 0.72 and let us say that it is going to be 140, I'll say that. B is a data point approximately. If this is 0.72, it may be 0.73. Maybe it is going to be 150. Just an example to make you understand that. If you see that C data point, it is exactly parallel. It is exactly parallel to A. That means you know that for y-axis will be the same. X-axis may be, for example, this is the C data point. For example, what we will do is, let us say that 0.84 and 140, what we'll say that. So this is C point is 0.84 and 140. So these are the data points. See this x-axis is on a scale between 0.72 to 0.84. Maybe y-axis is a scale between maybe somewhere around 100 to, for example, 200 is a point. Generally, this concept will be never taught in our school days. Why? Because at that time we don't know that. But now if you calculate the distance between A and B, observe the distance between A and B. It is 0.72 140. This is 0.73 150. So what is the distance? 0.73 minus 0.72 square plus which is going to be 150 minus 140 square. And if you see the square root of that, anyhow, 0.73 minus 0.72 is a very small value, 0.01. If you square it, it will become 0.001. It will become 0.001. It will become. Plus anyhow, 150 minus 140 is 10 square 100. Anyhow, almost all the value will be equivalent to 10 units because 0.0001 is a very small value that does not make a difference. Now, what is the distance between A and C here now? Distance between A and C, if you see that X coordinate is going to be slightly different. Y coordinate is the same. 0.84 minus 0.72 because 0.84 and 0.72 and square it is plus anyhow X coordinate will Y coordinate is the same. So it is 140 minus 140 will be 0 square root of that. So anyhow it is 0.12 square. Anyhow square root of that is 0.12 is the distance. So visibility, that means by visual we can say that A data point is closer to B. But practically if you see that it depends on the scale of the data. Generally in our school days what they will teach that there are both x-axis, y-axis is of the same, there are going to be on the same scale. Scale is the same. But practically when it comes here, if you see that now distance between A and B is 10 units, distance between A and C is 0.12 units. That means A is closer to C here, guys. A is going to closer to C. Okay, it's a mathematical technique. It's not any programmatical technique, or it is not a programming part. Just a distance between the two data points. Okay, so that's why, that means what is happening here is whenever the data between two scales like this, two different scales like this, the scale which is having the higher scale will dominate. That means based on this distance only we have to find out. This is not contributing anything to the distance calculation. See how much distance calculation it is contributing. The x-axis 0.0001 it is contributing. Don't worry, just to make you understand the concept. So when the data is of a different scale like this, we will perform something called as an min-max scaling, what we are going to do, guys. What is this min-max scaling? The min-max scaling is going to be brings any data between 0 to 1. It's a mathematical technique. Min-max scaling will bring any data, any range of data between 0 to 1. That means if I apply the min-max scaling on x-axis and y-axis, both will come to 0 to 1 only. Both of them will come to 0 to 1. How do you do the scaling? For example, let us say that there is some data is like this. Easy to understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm taking easy numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maximum is 5, minimum is 1. What we have to do is, from every number, we have to subtract the minimum value divided by maximum value. For example, if you say this is x, it is x minus minimum of x divided by maximum of x minus minimum of x. This is the calculation what we'll do that. So what is x minus here? 1 minus 1 divided by 5 minus 1. It will become 0. Maximum value 5 minus 1 divided by 5 minus 1, that will become 1. This 2 will become 2 minus 1 divided by 5 minus 1. 3 will become 3 minus 1 divided by 5 minus 1. 4 will become 4 minus 1 divided by 5 minus 1. So it will become 0. It will become 0.25. This will become 0.5. It will become, this is 0.75. It will become, and 1 it will become. That means whatever the range of data was there, it will drop between 0 to 1. Both comes to the same scale only. That is what the basic point here. This is a mathematical technique. Got the point? This is a mathematical technique. So why we are scaling the data? Why? Because both the data are of a different scale. So that's why what we want to do is, we want to scale the data into one particular value. That is, I want to apply the min-max scaling. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry about that. Just I'm showing the application only. So how do you do this particular, how do you do that? How do you do it now? How do you do this scaling now? If it is a smaller values, I can do it manually. But whenever it is a larger values, that means whenever the number of samples are, let us say that some hundreds of samples are there, or let us say that whenever we have the data, something like some data was there, guys, and that too the data is a very large scale data was there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can do it very easily. Okay. Just don't worry, just I'm showing you how to perform these operations, guys. So for that, we have to take some help of a language. Okay, language means, again, don't think that why we are learning a programming language when I want to learn machine learning. So as I said, that data science is all about some techniques, all about some kind of a methodologies. To apply the methodologies, we have to take some help of some language. Let us say that x is equal to something like, see, just very simple, and don't worry what I'm writing and all these things, don't worry. Same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same data I have written, guys. Observe carefully. Same data I have written. Now, if you observe carefully, this is your x 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how do you scale the data? X minus, you are directly my formula x minus. I want to find out the minimum value, minimum of x value. Okay, don't worry what I'm doing here. Don't worry about that particular programming. Programming means I'm not writing any programming, guys. Observe carefully just to make you understand that. It is maximum of x minus what is going to be np dot minimum of x, guys. Don't worry. Just whatever the result I have explained, the same result as it is we are going to get in, guys. So whatever I explained, x is the total array. From that, I'm subtracting the minimum value divided by maximum minus minimum value. See there, it is 0, 0 0.25, 0 0.5, 0 0.751. Even if the value is any value, for example, I said 120, 125, let us say 140, 150, 160, 161, any random values, 161, let us say that 190 or 180 or 185, let us say 190. I've taken this data. If ask you to manually do if I want to manually do it, 120 divided by 190, 120 minus 120 minus 120 divided by 190 minus 120, because maximum value. Anyhow, it will come 0. 125 minus 120 divided by 190 minus 120. It is 5 by 70. I can't calculate it. So no need to do any calculation by yourself. Directly, this is a formula, guys. See there, whatever the range of data is there, the data will comes to 0 to 1. Whose methodology it is? It is a mathematical technique. It's not a programmatical technique. It is not related to Java. It is not related to Python. It is not related to some other language. It is a mathematical technique. The mathematical technique I'm implementing with the help of this. But maybe, let us say some people says that, sir, how can I remember this formula? So I can't remember the formula. You need not to worry about that. Don't worry. Simple from sklearn. So there are some predefined libraries will be there. Directly, we have to work with that particular predefined libraries. We have to do that. It is going to be something like sklearn dot. Just give me a second. Sklearn dot. Maybe just let me check out sklearn whether it is installed or not installed. Just give me a second. Okay, don't worry. It's just an idea about that. Otherwise, I'll show it in a different way also, because the libraries may not be available always. We have to install them, because that we'll discuss it later classes. Don't worry about that. So I'm importing the sklearn library. Yes, it is imported. So what shall I say? sklearn dot. It is going to be, we are having pre-processing dot. There we are having something called as pre-processing. Don't worry. It is going to be, what I'm doing here is directly there is a function called as, just give me a second, sklearn dot. So you need not to worry about that. See, even why I'm not doing, why I was unable to do it, why? Because is generally what we will do, guys, we don't write any manual work. We don't write any manually. We are not going to do, guys. It's pre-processing, sklearn dot pre-processing. Why it is not coming? Okay, so just for a small timing. Okay, for the timing, leave it, guys. So it's not matter about that. Just a minute. Why it is not working? Okay, so leave it. Basically, we are having it directly. There are some built-in functions also will be there. You need not to remember the formula and no need to write any such kind of a formulas. Okay, so later we'll see them. So how it is working. So why it is not working, leave it, does not matter. But we can use that kind of a technique. So what I mean to say is only that methodologies are important here now. How to apply them, that is very easy. So why we have to do the min-max scaling is important. How to do the min-max scaling is not important, guys. Whether you write it by using a code like whatever written, or directly, there are some built-in functions also will be there. Directly, we can use the built-in functions and we can work with them also. So to perform all these, as I said, that maths and stats, domain knowledge, and some computer skills are required whenever you want to work with the data science. So for this, what basically we have to do, guys, we have to learn some language. So language means, again, don't think that programming language like Java, C, C++, .NET, We don't learn that kind of a languages, guys. We learn a language called as Python. Okay, so nowadays by almost all guys from as I can see them almost all from 7-8 years of time, 7-8 years since the last 7 to 8 years. So Python is in very huge demand and it has become a common language, guys. It's not only Python means generally it's Java. Java means generally who will learn. Even computer science engineering people will get confused with that. Even the people, the guys who are maybe after that they become experience on that, they knows everything. But what about the learners? Even initially the Java learners also get a lot of confusion. Even there are from computer science background. Why? Because that inheritance, polymorphism. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of people who are at the basic level. So they'll get confused with all those things. So why? Because it is completely fully object-oriented programming. So, but coming to the Python, it is not like that. Nowadays, everyone is learning everybody is learning Python. So independent of whether you are a computer science engineer, a graduate or a non-computer science, anybody can learn the Python, first of all. Why? Why? Because Python is a language, which is a language such that it is a simple language, easy to learn and very easy to use. A very simple language. See that just now I shown you one example also. How simple I have written. I didn't written any lengthy program. I didn't written any lengthy code. If you guys having the idea about any C++, Java, so what is the trouble? You know that. First, we have to write a program. So we cannot directly write like whatever you want to write. Even if you want to print hello world also, we have to write a program. So class name. Okay. So public static void main. And after that system dot out dot println hello world and close the curly braces. And after that, save the program with an extension of .java, compile the program and run the program. So all that confusion will not be there in the Python. Why? Because a Python is a language with such a way that it is very easy. Anybody can learn this. Anyone can learn the Python. And that's why this Python creator says that one of the first features says that Python is a general purpose language. Python is a general purpose language, guys. That means it is a language which can be used for any generic purpose. It is not designed for any particular domain or it is not designed for a particular group of people. It is completely designed for a general purpose. So why I'm calling it as, why they call it as general purpose is anybody can use this Python. Who generally uses, I'll tell you. Who generally uses, I'll tell you. The first people is obviously the software developers. So what is the main role of a software developer? They want to develop some kind of an software development, application development. So nowadays, you know that different types of applications, mobile applications are coming, web applications are coming, gaming applications are coming, or a desktop applications, any kind of an application development. So almost all it can be used by any application developers. So application developers, even if it's the software developers, they uses a Python. So what type of applications? Maybe a web applications. You know that mobile applications, even mobile applications can be developed by Python. Web, mobile, or it can be a desktop, or it can be gaming applications. Anybody can develop it. Any kind of an applications we can develop with the help of the Python. So are we going to learn any of this application development? No, because we are not application developers here. We are not software developers, guys. Isn't it? We are not developing any softwares. We are not going to develop any applications. Generally, that will be done in C, C++, Java. Those languages they will use this. The second one is like even some people like hackers and networking expertise, even networking people also, guys. Even that means hardware engineers, networking engineers, or networking people and hacker expertise, hackers. So these people are also nowadays preferring to use the Python. Some of the networking people, they uses them because in networking, though it is a hardware also, a little bit scriptings, they have to write it there. So they're also writing using this particular Python. Basically, Python supports something like an socket programming. So that is the reason why people are preferring to use this, the Python as the networking applications and the hackers, they are preferring using. Are you going to perform any networking and hacking in our classes? No, we don't use it, guys. We don't use it. So though we can develop some applications, we don't develop it here, guys. Though we can do some kind of a hacking and networking, we are not going to do that. then what we are going to work on that, guys. Mainly, the third category of people is, see there, these are generally software developers. Generally, these are generally the hardware people, guys. They're the hardware experts. Networking people means they are the hardware experts, basically. Hackers, both hardware, software, both they will work. The third category is, guys, even maths and statisticians, guys. The maths and stats people, even the stats experts are also using this particular Python they are using. So as I've just now shown, so whenever you want to apply some mathematical theories, or whenever they want to apply the mathematical formulas, or whenever they want to perform any scientific computing, yes, they want to do some kind of a scientific computings they want to do. So they are preferring to use the Python language. Generally, maths and stats people, they are not at all interested in using computers. Maximum, they'll use computers only up to Excel sheets only. Almost all I have seen them, almost all from the last 7 years. Even the maths people and the stats people, what they are doing is, they are coming and learning Python, R language. There are separate languages also there for them, R language. So R is also one of the language, which is a most competitor for the Python, most competitor to the Python, and that all are also using R also, we can implement the data science concepts. So data science is not a computer science engineering, guys. It is a math. The mathematics people says that data science is our subject. But being we don't have the idea about much programmatical skills, what they are doing, what they are saying is, we can't learn the computer, the software and all these things. That's why what they are saying is, we'll take a computer science engineering people and we'll teach them statistics, and we're going to make them as a data scientist. So that is what these maths and stats people are saying that. So many mathematical computings, mathematical statistical analysis, and even lot of things can be done, guys. It is basically used for the scientific computing. They are going to be using them. So maths and statistics expert. Just now I said that why we are using. So we are going to use the Python for what purpose? We are going to learn so many mathematical techniques. To implement those mathematical and statistical techniques, we are going to use this Python as a language, what we can use. And one more is also there, guys. That is nothing but, obviously, what we are going to learn. So these data science people, why? Because data science is all about maths and stats, and also about the computer skills. Data science people, a data analyst can learn, machine learning engineers, deep learning engineers, NLP related, okay, AI related, everyone has to learn this data science, guys. So mainly we are learning the Python basically for this implementation. For implementing of maths and stats related applications for scientific computing, as well as to implement all the machine learning related algorithms, or all the related with the deep learning applications. So to do that, we are going to use this particular Python, guys. We are not going to develop any applications here. We are not going to develop any networking and hacking applications here, guys. We are not going to learn the first two categories. That's why the Python creators are saying that it is a general purpose language. And second point, already I said that it is a language which is easy to learn, and which is easy to use. You can learn it very easily, and you can use it very easily, guys. Even the guys who do not have any Python, any programming skills, just if you have a little bit programmatical knowledge, that is sufficient. That means programmatical knowledge means you need not to study about C, C++, all these things. Just like what is a function? If you don't have any idea about a programming, what is meaning of a function means, I'll explain it. But still you will have a lot of confusion. So what generally I'll do that, this is a function. So basically use it for reusability. You have seen, if the guys who have already seen the functions in the language, they can understand the topic very easily. But for the guys who don't have the idea about the Python, so what they will do is they will get a little bit confused with that. So what is this concept is there? Why do you require this? What is a function? Initially, a little bit confusion will be there. But over that time period, it's very easy. Don't compare with any programming languages. Just individually work with Python. It is very easy to compare. So a language which is easy to use and which is very easy to learn, guys. And third, and one of the important point is, it is an open source language, guys. Python is an open source language. So many people don't have this idea about what is meaning of an open source. Generally, most of the people think that open source means it's a free software. It's a free software. For example, take the example of an WhatsApp. So whenever we talk about the WhatsApp, it is a free software, but we can't make any modification to the WhatsApp. For example, if I want to change the WhatsApp icon, I want to change it. I can't change it. Or let us say that I want to add some features to the WhatsApp. I cannot make it. I want to delete some of the features of WhatsApp. I can't do it. Why? Because it is only a free software, but it is not an open source. That means the code is available with the who has been, I think initially it was developed by some company, but now it was taken by Meta. The Facebook has taken, it has been overtaken, it has taken the WhatsApp application there. So everything is right. The code is only with the WhatsApp only. The code is going to be within the company. So only the few people will have the access to the code. If anybody changes has to be done, only those people has to make the changes. Remaining guys, they cannot make any changes to the code. That is what we call it as a free software, but it is not an open source. That means they don't give any code to us. For example, Microsoft is there. As you know that Microsoft is an operating system which is not an open source. Maybe you guys may hear about Linux. Microsoft versus Linux, they will say that. So Microsoft is not a commercial product. It is an open source. Linux or Linus, whatever it may be, Linux will say that. Okay, so it was basically created by Linus Torvalds. Linux was initially named as Linus only. Okay, after that it has become Linux. Why? Because it was mainly created by a person called as a Linus Torvalds. So this coming to the Linux, what happened here is, guys, coming to the Linux, what happened here is, it is an open source. That means directly they'll give you the source code to us. Directly they'll give the source code to us. For example, even in the business applications also, whenever the companies develop an application, for example, for a banking, some company developed it. Like for example, let us say that Infosys has developed an application. So most of the banking application uses this. I didn't remember the name correctly, but it is most of the banks uses this application, which was developed by Infosys. So Infosys will only develop the application and give the code. They will only give the code on. Sorry, they'll give only the application. They don't give any code to them. Maybe they write it by using Java. They write it by using Python. Does not matter. They don't give the source code to that. Only executable code will be given. So that's why tomorrow when bank requires any changes, for example, there is a banking application is there. So whenever tomorrow in future, if banking application want to make any changes to the application, they again have to go back to the Infosys and they have to ask them, please make the changes for us. Directly, if the source code was given, the banks can directly, they can take it. That's why the banking will take some maintenance. That means what they will do is they will have a maintenance contract with the Infosys. Once the project is completed, once the application is developed, with that, there is contract is not ended. Development part is over, but maintenance contract will be there. So if any changes are required, they will keep on changes that are going to be doing that. But Python is not such kind of a language, guys. It is a completely an open source language. That means directly the Python has given some code to you. If you want, you can take the source code, compile it and execute it. And if you want to make any changes, we can make the changes. And even if you want, we can make the changes and sell it as your own product also. That's why open source languages are nothing but they are free to use and also free to distribute it also, guys. You can't distribute your Windows operating system. So once you buy the Windows operating system, so you can't distribute that. You can't share your license to somebody. If you try to share the license to somebody, what will happen here is your account is going to be gets deactivated. That's why we can't share the code. We can't share the Windows applications or Windows operating system to anyone. Only you have to use it. You can't make changes to the Windows, or we cannot make any changes to the source code, and you cannot distribute it also. But Python is not like that. It's a language which is free to use and it is free to distribute. You can download the software, you can just download it, use it, or you can make the modification to the Python code itself and distribute to share it to somebody also. That's the reason why they call it as an free to use and free to distribute it. So like that, if you go on talking about, if you're talking about the features, there are so many features will come, guys. So it is a language which is easy to use and easy to learn. It's an open source language. I didn't discuss about technical aspects, guys. I didn't talk about any technical aspects. It's a general purpose language, easy to use and easy to learn, and it is an open source language. So we'll see the technical aspects also, but before going to that, it is always good to learn about the history of Python, guys. That means how it has been evolved. Okay, history of Python, how the Python has evolved. Okay, just all these things, just a little bit. We don't concentrate much on that, but a little bit on the history we have to discuss about that. Who is the creator? Who is the creator of the Python? By this time, everybody came to know about that. Initially, they used to think in a different way because that even as of now also Python. Whenever I say Python, generally what comes to our mind? It's nothing but the huge snakes, which we call it as Python, which are found in the dense forest like Brazilian forest, or it may be in some kind of a dense forest only we can see those Python snakes and all these things what we can see. Generally, that comes to our mind. Python means immediately that comes to our mind is nothing but snakes. Even many of the books based on the Python have the cover page with the snake as the snake as a cover page. They will have it here. Even if you see some kind of and go to Google and find out. So I want to search for, when you search for some Python textbooks or any Python books, what generally will find it off. Let me open. Let me find one which is going to be some Python textbooks. You'll find it off. So let us say that whenever we try to find some kind of a Python textbooks. So whenever we see some kind of an images of the textbooks, if we can see. So the first book, if we can see that it is Programming in Python, there was a snake was there. Even everywhere, almost all Python crash course, there is a snake was there. So even Python high performance Python, there was a snake was there. So generally, most of the people thinks that something it is relevant to that one, but it was not something anything relevant to that. And who is the creator of the Python? His name is Rossum. Guido van Rossum. He is a Dutch programmer who was born in Netherlands, and he was the main person who was creator of the Python. Let us discuss about a little bit points regarding a little bit discussion about the Rossum also. So he used to work in a team. Basically, why the Python creation has been, he has created the Python. Obviously, every development will have some what we can say some kind of an inspiration or something, or it is going to be influenced by some particular language. So Rossum also was influenced like that only. He created the Python. He was a creator of Python. So creator of Python, and he was influenced by, he has been inspired from a language called as, it is going to be influence. He was influenced by a language called as an ABC language. So he was one of the member of a team. He was one of the member in a team which developed a language called as ABC. The language name is ABC. The language name itself is ABC, guys. What is the main target is, they want to make the development very easy. Basically, guys, nowadays, the development part has become very easy. Earlier, if you remember, maybe you guys are, some of you guys are maybe 20 years back means maybe at that time you may be at an age less than 5 years of time. Maybe some of you at that time you don't know anything about programming, isn't it? So 20 years back, I used to see, because from almost all 21 years I was in the field here now. I seen the people struggling writing the programming. I have seen the people struggling learning the programming, but nowadays it has become a very, very simple for them. Almost all everyone are able to learn the programming language. The programming frameworks has been changed. With the IDEs also, it has been lot of changes has been brought here. I'll discuss about that also. So they want to develop a language which is very simple language to developers. Anybody can use that language. That's why they developed a language called as an ABC. But for some technical reason, this language was not released, guys. This ABC was not released. They developed it, but they didn't release. So many languages will be there within the lab only, guys. So we may hear about somewhere around some few languages. So correctly, I can't say that how many languages are there, but in real time, we can use almost all. That means from the past, if you see, there may be some 1,000+ languages may be used, guys. 1,000+ languages. But development is almost all 10,000, 20,000+ languages may have developed. Out of the 20,000 languages, maybe 19,000 languages didn't came outside. That means they're only restricted to the lab. They didn't came outside, they didn't release them. Why? Because there are some technical aspects will be there. As we know that no, guys, one product, whatever the product we are seeing, but to develop a product, there is a lot of internally the companies will do a lot of research. They may develop hundreds of products, but from there only one product will be releases from the company. Remaining 99 products are rejected, isn't it? So even in software development also, maybe the guys or these companies will develop multiple languages, but some of the languages may be having some issues, maybe there for implementation, and almost all 99% of the languages will be rejected. That means they may not come outside the lab. Only 1% of them only is going to be comes outside, maybe less than 1% also. Same as it is, this group of people, a team of people developed this ABC language, but due to some technical reason that was not released, guys. But inspired from that language, inspired from this language of Rossum, by Rossum, he has created this Python language was written, guys. He is the creator of Python. And why the name Python has came? I think most of you have came to know about all these things. Initially, everyone used to think about the snake only, but later came to know that it is nothing relevant to the snake. This Rossum in his childhood used to enjoy the TV shows, just like how we are getting a web series as of now. We are enjoying the web series now, guys. All the OTT platforms are releasing a lot of these web series. Same like that around in 1969, guys. Around in 1970s, you can say that 1969 to 1973 or approximately. During the 1970, there was an English comedy series of shows which to be there. That name of the TV show is Flying Circus. The name of the it's going to be Flying Circus, which was directed by a group of people called them as Monty Python. So that's why the TV show was called as Monty Python Flying Circus. The TV show name was Monty Python the Flying Circus, which was aired during the year 1969 to 1972 or 1974. I think approximately 5 years. It's a comedy series it's a comedy web series, guys. It's a comedy web series. So this Python, this person called as Rossum, what we are talking about, in his childhood, he used to enjoy this TV show. And during the development also, he has used it to watch this TV shows. And some of the terms, even that was used in Python also, that are inspired from, they have taken from the TV show only. And it was directed by the group of people called as a Monty Python, and the named it as a Python. So that is the reason why the name Python has came. It is nothing relevant to the snake or something like that. It's a name of the team which directed the TV show called as a Flying Circus, and the TV show is called as a Monty Python Flying Circus. Just if you want, you can search for the Wikipedia. In the Wikipedia page of Monty Python Flying Circus, there are some few points related to this Python development also. So if you verify, it is Monty Python. It is Monty Python Flying Circus. It's a Monty Python Flying Circus. See, the multiple TV shows are there. It's a Monty Python Flying Circus is there. So this is a TV show. So if you see the Wikipedia page of that, there are some few points related to the Python also. There was a few points related to this. So if you can see this one. Yeah. So this one, the programming language Python was named by Guido von Rossum after the show, and the word spam for junk email took its name from the word used in Monty Python sketch only. Even the word called as a spam for the junk email took its name from the word used in a Monty Python sketch only. It is Wikipedia page of Monty Python Flying Circus TV show. I'm not talking about Python, guys. Okay. I'm not talking about a Python. It was aired during the 1969, I think so. Around 1969 to 1973. It was aired here. So approximately in that particular time, they have been it has been, and that was there. It is completely, I'm not talking about Python here now. I'm talking only about the Monty Python Flying Circus, the TV show I'm talking. But there is one point related to that. The programming language Python was named by Guido von Rossum after the show only. Remaining is related to the TV show only. It's not related to any Python. Okay. So that is the one what I'm talking about that. So that is the name, the naming, whatever the name that was behind the this particular the name of the Python. Even there are so many such kind of an interesting stories are also there, guys. So maybe you heard about Hadoop. Whenever we see the Hadoop, so it is going to be Hadoop was basically created by a person called as a dog cutting. Okay, it's a dog cutting. Anyhow, Hadoop is also part of our course curriculum, guys. Big data systems. So dog cutting is a person who was the mastermind behind the development of Hadoop. And even you'll see Hadoop is nothing but we'll get a elephant symbol will come. Python means how the snake symbol is coming. Hadoop means it is going to be, we'll get a elephant symbol. That too, it's not a real elephant. You are going to see like a toy elephant, you are going to see them. So there is also one a story behind that. So dog cutting son used to play his son's toy name. This Hadoop is a name taken by the Hadoop, this dog cutting son toy name. His son used to play with a stuffed elephant, when a toy elephant he used to play, and he named that toy as a Hadoop. And dog cutting also thought that it is irrelevant. Why? Because it's a big data system. So we know that one of the biggest animal in the world is nothing but elephant is also one of the biggest, huge animal. So being it is a big data and elephant is also a big animal. So to represent that, he has used that stuffed elephant as the icon, and he has been using the same name called as an Hadoop. Even like this, I think we have heard some, even in languages also, why the name Java has came, why the name some other languages has came. So many languages, isn't it? So there are some interesting stories behind them. So same as it is, Hadoop also was name of his son's toy elephant. Whereas the Python, it is the name of a TV show. It's a crew members who has directed the TV show of called as an Flying Circus. The team which directed is a Monty Python. So he has taken the name called as a Python from that. Like that, there are some few interesting stories behind every name. So we're not spending a lot of time on that. Just a 5-10 minutes. It is good to know. And when the Python has came into the picture, guys, around 1991, it came into the picture, guys. That means it came to the real world around 1990s. It has been came. But we started hearing about, became popular only after 2015, guys. Even that also I'll tell you, after 2015 only it has become popular. Why? Because at that time, we don't have that much implementation of Python, a very limited features only. After that, slowly, year by year, they contributed a lot. And even there is some new technologies also, computing power has increased. So there is a lot of reasons are there also, guys. I'll tell you why the Python has become popular after 2000, almost all around 2000, after 2012, it became popular. By 2015, it has become very popular, guys. From 2015, I was hearing the Python. Initially, I started at that time when I started working on data science related applications. At that time only, big data. At that time, I started hearing about the Python. But at that time, Python was having a very limited features only. After that, so many lot of libraries, contributions, Google contributed, Facebook contributed. Now it has become one of the top. That's now the Python is almost all in the first place, guys. So when you compare with other programming languages, Python is at the first place as of now. Why? Because these are some of the features what we can see. General purpose language, easy to learn, easy to use. It's an open source language. So these are some of the features. Not only that, technically there is a lot of advantages and there are some features are there, guys. Okay, fine. Anyhow, what are the technical aspects? I will discuss it in the tomorrow's class. Just 1 or 2 classes. I'm just going a little bit slowly. But once the main practical starts, I'll just a little bit. I'm not going to make it fast, but little bit I will speed up them, guys, because I think today also, I think it's a holiday. Bakrid holiday was there today. That's why I'm also the reason many of the participants didn't join for today. So just for today, I'll stop it here, guys. Tomorrow, I'll just complete off all these basics of Python introductions. I'll also make you to install the Python software also. And maximum by day after tomorrow, we'll start with the practicals, guys. Okay. So that's it for the today's class. Just for today, I'll stop it here. And we'll continue in the tomorrow's class with the same time, guys. Okay, link also remains the same because 1 or 2 days we'll change the link. We'll update you regarding that. Anyone, guys, any questions if you have? I can take up some questions and I can end up the session for today, guys. Anyone, any questions? No one, no questions. Okay, so that's it for the today's class, guys. So just for today, I'll stop it here. We'll continue in the tomorrow's class, guys. Thanks all of you for today.